So finally getting the chance to come back to the Hunter Call the Wild a little bit, and if everything went to plan, we should have streamed the black bear grind once again on yesterday's live stream over on Twitch. So I wanted to come back out to Revontuli, and I was looking at the map. There is an area, perhaps after we shoot this moose, because I was not ready for that big of a level 4 to step out, but there's a chunk of the map that we have yet to really discover. I'm hoping that got into a lung because I kind of rushed that knowing he was going to turn. He should be starting to go down if it did. And it was indeed lung blood, so as we go and start to track him down, bit of an unexpected start to this hunt. This is the area that I was talking about. Up here on the kind of west center of the map, you can see we have no zones. I'm really not sure we've ever visited these lakes. The only reason that chunk of the map is unlocked is because we've gone to all the lookout points, and that kind of removes all the fog on the map. So that's where I wanted to start today's hunt, but getting a really solid level 4 moose before we do that is a nice bonus. And even though the track was kind of long, pretty easy to find a moose with the sun hitting the antlers laying up like that, but I gotta assume that guy's above 250. He is in fact 258, so not a bad deal getting started with that. And honestly, we were pretty close, maybe just a little bit farther right and that hits the top of the heart. Either way though, enough to bring him down, but I really have no idea what we are going to find over here. I would like to think maybe raccoon dogs could still be in that area. Probably whitetail because they're all over the map, and some species of bird I would have to think. But because we haven't been there, I'm looking forward to going and checking it out. I like the way this is going already. I think we're probably still in the area that we've discovered. But we have 2 mountain hares here, in fact, 1 male and 1 female. I don't think they spawn in pairs or anything, but might as well take them both since they are just running around down here. And that is a species I'm at least hoping to maybe run into up there, but I am not exactly super familiar with the range of the mountain hares. I know they're all the way up north, and I know there's a good bit down in the far south. Not sure about over on that side of the map, but getting to right here early on, that's always a plus. You guys know I've been talking primarily about the mountain hare as the one that I think is going to be the biggest challenge with our single player only diamonds from Revontuli. Every single female we get is a huge plus. I mean, that's a good sign, although I didn't expect him to run right at us. Got a black cross up to 117. There was another male that went to 111, but I don't know where it actually went. They must have flown over through the trees and just managed to stay out of sight. That is him right there. I don't know what the other one that just flew by here is, but this, I think, is the one we had a max weight track of. 700 meter tracking distance would indicate that. So unfortunately not going to get as lucky as our troll and just pick up a heavy track that leads to a level 3. Of course, then again, not sure how much luck it is to end up getting trolled, but managed to get almost over to the lake and got on those tracks, so we'll get back on track here. That actually, I think, is him again, so while he's there, even on the ground, we'll go ahead and take him with the 12 gauge. I'm not sure I mentioned why I grabbed the 12 gauge today, actually. We happened to just leave off the last time on this map at an area that is pretty good for gray-lag geese, and just as I was getting the equipment ready to come out here, I got to thinking we might do a little bit of that later, and just for that added little bit of power, I thought the 12 gauge over the 16 gauge would be a good option. So thus far it's been fine for the black grouse, and hopefully that continues. And speaking of geese, there are some tundra bean geese just over here resting in the woods. It may have been our last hunt on Revontuli. If it wasn't the last one, it was relatively recent. We had a little bit of this up in the mountains as well, and now we see it again, and much like last time, just some lower level ones, but we might as well take them out, try to get some respawns for them. They are another species that we don't have a diamond of yet. I thought we got over to the other male. Unfortunately, we shot a female with our second shot, and I don't even think we'll waste the 22 ammo shooting through the trees. Pretty good chance we are going to miss all those shots or just hit branches, but we'll take those bonus kills. We still haven't gotten to the lake. I actually just had 2, and I should have stayed on the track. A 4 to 5 kg mountain hare track, not max weight, but fairly decent, and the fact that we have black grouse, mountain hare, and tundra bean geese, I kind of thought that was a dead goose, but it is not, all in an area that I wanted to explore. Maybe this is a spot to go and try to get some of those diamonds we're missing. In the meantime, got a light gray 2.2 male. Of course, the female is actually the same score. Brown plumage type for that. But one respawn for the males to hopefully eventually help with our search for a diamond. And to complete the trifecta, all from this little area, mountain hare, tundra bean goose, and black grouse, all within a couple hundred meters over on the east side here. And this is probably the fur type I would ideally want. It is a light brown. Unfortunately, still ended up with a silver. Gold is 4.4, so needed a little bit more from that, but I do quite like that coloration. All of them really do look quite good, but eventually we'll make it down to this lake, which really wasn't the point. It was more so checking out around the area in general. But as we know, whether it is animals that are actually drinking or just feeding or resting, lots of times animals will be all around the water, so I think it's worth taking a look. Well, it does look like it's a pretty good spot for whitetail. I definitely spooked some of these on my way down through the first time. Sort of saw them running off and figured we'd double back. It does seem as though almost all species now, for the most part, do come back to the zones after getting spooked off, and there was at least that one decent buck there. I think we'll probably go ahead and try to get him at 250 meters, up to 246 score. If we get much closer, he's going to be hidden behind the reeds, so let's go for that. I also really didn't even get to introduce our 30-06 today. Just wanted to switch it up from using the 308 a lot, and I grabbed the Elegance just because it is one of the best looking guns really in the entire game. Not just for 30-06 calibers and not just for rifles, but able to bring him down one way or another, whether that was a heart shot or just a drop shot from double lung. And then I think we're going to move up to the north here. Again, you can see, I really don't have any zones on the far east side of the map, so that's where I want to go through and see what other kind of undiscovered things are waiting on us. And we just barely lucked out in not having that buck float all the way back across the lake, but he is a 236. It was a heart shot there at 235 meters. Not half bad. And like I said, we'll just move up the eastern border of the map, probably all the way up if we can, and see what's out here. That's a pretty solid black grouse, up to 124. I don't know if we can make that shot. I don't think we hit him. We must not have, because he's going back the other way now. Much easier shot as he goes through there, and even though we have the 12 gauge, it hit him, but he is still going pretty far, so he must have just died because we weren't able to spot him. Not too bad, all things considered, although I would have thought at maybe 40 meters. Unless the shot wasn't as good as I thought, maybe only like one pellet hit him. I still would have thought he would have went down quicker than he did. Regardless though, the best estimate black grouse we've seen in a while, 115 gold, and actually that was the case. One pellet hit him in the intestines, right on 40 meters. Maybe we just aimed a little bit too low. At least enough to get him in at least a solid male once again. There also, apparently, is another max weight black grouse around, so normally you can just kind of follow their tracks until they end up flushing somewhere near you. I think that'll be the move here, and it is going to take us off the east side of the map, and depending on how long it takes to find them, it may take us way off of our kind of main path here, but this is one of the species we're after, so it's gotta be something we do. I guess that's probably him, only up to 117, and that is kind of the thing about black grouse. They only need to be 112, and that guy is 112.8 in order to be in the max weight range, but almost a 2-kilometer tracking distance for that. That is a little bit kind of disappointing, but maybe instead now we'll kind of go up and over. Again, not a whole lot of time spent up in here. And it looks like we've reached the northern border of the map, so I guess it's time to start looking elsewhere. I'm not even sure. I think it's down in here somewhere was the gray lag goose setup I talked about spawning in at, and maybe we'll kind of hunt our way over towards it. Although it does cause us to respawn. I was hoping maybe opening the map would delay that timer, but we'll find our way over there one way or another. I mean, at least that's something over here. I've got to say, this has been a little bit of a disappointing run down here through the south. I think that's going to be a long shot, so at least we get a decent raccoon dog on our way through, but all the way, actually, we came this way first. Really didn't see anything significant, and then I went back and came from this side. And finally, as we're approaching the location of our setup, we at least get a little something as we transition to a little bit of goose hunting. So we are at the moment about 2 hours and 20 minutes in. I really wanted to put as much time as I could today into this hunt because we really haven't gotten to play Call of the Wild as much lately. And as we're kind of getting close to 2.5 hours here, it's about time to at least try geese for a while. As for the raccoon dog, actually that was a gold, a 7.2 black-white fur type. I didn't think he had any chance with like a 5 to 7 estimate. We'll take that for sure. And then we are just about there, actually, as we have a mountain hare warning thump, so fair chance that has already spooked. Maybe we'll get lucky enough to encounter that before we get set up. If the mountain hare fled away from where we got the warning call, I could not find his tracks, but we've made it to our waterfowl setup, and this actually is a pretty good spot for both Canada geese and greylags, but we're only set up for the greylags, kind of trying to focus on them at least a little bit, and there's also a chance we could get some teal around here. So hopefully some of those types of things start flying over rather than the things we've already had diamonds of. And in fact, we do now have our first flock of ducks at this setup, and it is a flock of Eurasian teal. Now, I believe it is 354 for diamond for them. I saw a max 352 estimate. There also are up there some type of geese. Those are Canada's yet again. Now, generally speaking, things take quite some time to circle around here. So we'll try to, as they are doing that, at least try to pick out the bigger male again. I'm not sure where he actually was. It might have been in the other half of the flock. They are going to land, and I still haven't found it. Was that it? There? That is him. So I guess we're going to have to shoot that one off the water, which is fine, I suppose. Not like we're taking a diamond with this anyway. Gonna try to make that so we get 2. And could we pick out another male? We can. Able to get him. And I'm not sure what that was. We actually got that out of the air too. I've been saying for a long time, and many times I've been asked about it, why do I use the 16 gauge over the 12 gauge? And my reasoning is, I don't much care for the 12 gauge open sights. That worked pretty darn well. 344 scoring gold for our first. I think this was a hen. Little brown 319. There are a lot of cool rares for the ducks as well, so even shooting the hens is going to be something we should do. And then we're going to jump back in our float blind. Wait for these to come over. Now the thing that sometimes happens is you can't reach them. That was a 340 scoring gold though. Not bad. And then the last one looks again like it was a hen. So not bad. 50% considering we had to spot and guess for a couple. But I think everything there was fairly common. Looks like we're finally going to get some greylags to come down and land. Now the tough thing is it actually sounds like there are some ducks coming in as well. Is picking the time to take the shot. Now, I think with these, because they're kind of landing straight in front of us, it should be relatively doable. Looks like we got that, and I'm not going to worry about taking shots when they are coming up off the water. When I know they're all relatively small based on getting to spot them, that is going to be all fine. I wish we could have gotten a hit on that level 2 male. We can still try with the 22. It is much more difficult now than it used to be with the Canada geese prior to the waterfowl changes. And that guy is just going to make it way, way tougher. So, might be a case of being better off saving our ammo. I don't know what he is doing. But, much like the last time, got one floating back to the blind, and it looks like we managed a total of 3. Really should have gotten 4 with that other male that took off. That was kind of a bummer. Is that... I guess I'm used to seeing the tundra bean geese now. The white coloration must be normal because it's just called brown. For a second I thought we actually had a leucistic or something. That is the gray variation. That was a female too. I hope this one at least was a male. I think it's a gray again. It's kind of right under the blind. But that was a male. In fact, one of the ones we shot when it was trying to take off from the water. Gray fur type indeed. 3.1 where gold is 3.4. So I got a ways to go there. Only one pellet hit, but I've got to say, we're doing better with the 12 gauge than I would have guessed. It really was for that extra power in situations just like that where maybe one pellet hits. But our accuracy hasn't been bad. Now this has the potential to be both good and bad. We've got greylags coming in. We've also got Eurasian teal circling around. And what I'd like to probably do is just kind of sit here and wait it out until everything comes to land. But considering how close that guy got, most likely the teal are just going to go. And I saw a level 4 greylag in there, so I think probably we're going to wait for the geese. Even though I really do want a diamond teal. They did, I think, mostly take off. Or maybe some of them are hanging around. Maybe we can make it work. Actually, the geese are coming into land, so I think the level 4 was a little farther back. He was by the level 3. That's him there. So if we can get him, and now I've lost track again, that one in the back's a good thing we didn't take the shot. And the problem is, because we couldn't locate him, now we actually can't hit him from where we are. So we're just gonna take some ducks just to get something. And if we can, we'll go 22 on the level 4 gray lag. If, once again, we can get the opportunity, we have a fair chance here, I'd say, to get him. That'll work. Now, there were some 3s in there I would have liked to have gotten, but due to the way that worked out and where they landed, I'm actually pretty pleased with how that went. We got at least one solid goose, and at least for the one drake teal that I was certain we got, just a silver. There are still 2 more over there. That looks like a tufted duck or something, though. Maybe they were there. Not gonna lie, I thought Sir 12 was our dead goose. That's the second time I've completely misidentified something today. I think our goose would be up here a little bit farther. I might be able to see him up there. Down just before the tree line. That was a 3.7 brown. Actually not bad. Diamond is 3.85. His weight is 3.79. So, in theory, that could have been possible with some high trophy rating luck to actually be a level 4 diamond. I can only assume that's possible, given the weight and the fact that he was a level 4. I'd say that guy right there could have been if we'd gotten a little bit luckier, but let's actually see them with the ducks. Now, I've had some flocks of tufted ducks come through, and I've generally just ignored them. We have 2 diamonds. They're the only new species, actually, of waterfowl that we have a diamond of, so I'm pretty much letting them land, spotting them, making sure there's no rares, and then just letting them do their thing. Maybe there were some still around, and we shot one of those. That is a Drake Eurasian teal once again, though. And then the other duck is, indeed, a male tufted duck. Never did see him when we took the shot, but we'll take that, too. It has been a pretty darn solid day for teal so far. A lot of times coming over here, and really just about anywhere we go, we end up primarily getting tufted ducks. Lots of teal coming down here, although they maybe don't want to land in the ideal spots. We can still make it work, and I'm not going to be as worried about trying to make sure we take stuff out of the air. Now, if any of the ones that are still around, and maybe they've all landed by now, would have offered a better shot from the air, we could have done that. It's all hens landing back there. I swear I still hear one. It could be the ones that were just circling over there. There is a drake, but even still, can't quite get a shot. So what we're going to do is actually jump out of the blind, probably reload super quick as we do this, and then just run that way and do our best to hit something when they take off. Gonna be fairly tough to identify what's what. We got 2 there. All things considered, I'm actually fairly happy with that. We may get another chance. Looks like they're gonna just dart back the other way, though. I do like, though, they used to, for the most part, waterfowl in general, fly kind of in a straight line. Those kind of seem to fly towards us, see us, or hear the shot, and then turn back the other way. I know we hit the 2. It doesn't mean they went down immediately, but I thought they were right in here. I actually just put Sir 12 back in the kennel, because on 2 separate occasions, we had ducks try to land right on top of where he was and end up spooking, but we can manage here. Actually, a decent-sized hen at 326. I think I heard some tufted ducks coming in. We'll make sure there's no level 3s because it's happened a couple times already. Just kind of average size stuff. And then our other one we were almost on top of. That was another hen, unfortunately. Couple high scoring ones though in the 320s. I am gonna say most likely this will be our last flock, and at least it is a flock of teal. Good to see a couple more males in there. I thought I may have seen like a slightly lighter colored one, but we're getting into kind of the evening now where the lighting might just be different. I'm not seeing it now, so I'm going to assume everything is common, and we're at least going to try to take shots out of the air, kind of depending on where the teal decide to land. If they're going to do the same thing as before, and they are, it's going to be over in that area where it's tough to actually get a shot. Let these next couple go, and then if we can pick out a male, which I have no idea to be honest, we'll hit that. I think we actually hit another one there. It's so tough to even see what we're aiming at over there. I don't know what we shot, males, females, no idea. That was actually the one that I thought may have been lighter colored, at least if I'm remembering the score right. Odds are we are not going to be hitting that. It doesn't look to be any kind of uncommon on second glance here, but tough to tell going that fast. And then for the 2 that we got, we have a brown hen once again, and laying here at least was a gold drake. So not a bad way to wrap up. One pellet kind of up high in the wing maybe is the way that worked out. 50 meters. And I suppose we'll take a look and see what's coming in here for the gray legs. Looks like some relatively small males, so we'll worry about them a little bit later. But we are over the 3-hour mark, and that's probably the most time we've put into waterfowl hunting so far. I've really wanted to get the at least black grouse, and ideally mountain hare and raccoon dog off the list, but the black grouse always feel a little more doable for me, just because we've had a level 3 already, even though it trolled. It was nice to just kind of sit down and get some respawns there, get some nice sized males of both the teal and the gray lag geese. And honestly, that was rather enjoyable. We were doing pretty well shooting wise. That's gonna have to be something we come back and do again sometime in the near future. Maybe tundra bean geese and some widgeon hunting is something we could do for the next video on this map. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.